the judgment of Earth. The sky over Earth didn't burn when the alien fleet arrived. It darkened. Thousands of massive, obsidian-colored vessels slid out of hyperspace and locked themselves into orbit with surgical precision. No explosions, no warnings, no dramatic laser fire, just silence, followed by shadows that swallowed entire continents. People looked up from city streets, deserts, oceans, and mountain villages, and for the first time in human history, everyone knew the same truth at once. We were no longer alone. Global communications collapsed within minutes. Satellites blinked out like dying stars. Military defenses, missiles, drones, orbital platforms were neutralized before they could even activate. The invaders didn't fight us. They ignored us. That was somehow worse. 3 days later, the alien ships transmitted a single message, translated flawlessly into every human language. Submit representatives. Compliance ensures survival. No explanation. No demands. Just an order under the shadow of extinction. Earth did what it always did when afraid. Argued, panicked, blamed, and then eventually chose. 12 humans were selected. Scientists, soldiers, politicians, a religious leader, a historian, and one person no one understood why they chose. Me. My name is Elias Monroe. I wasn't famous. I wasn't powerful. I wasn't even particularly important. I worked disaster logistics, evacuation planning, supply chains, rebuilding after earthquakes and wars. I knew how systems failed, how people broke. That apparently was enough. We were transported aboard the alien flagship, a structure so vast it felt like entering a hollowed moon. Gravity adjusted instantly. Air composition was perfect. The corridors glowed faintly with living light, shifting color as we passed. They didn't bind us, didn't threaten us. They didn't need to. We were escorted into a chamber that dwarfed any human cathedral. At its center stood a raised platform of black crystal, and upon it waited the being who would decide Earth's fate, the alien commander. He was tall, over 8 feet, his form armored in organic plating that pulsed with faint crimson veins. His face was angular, his eyes like molten gold, and behind him stood dozens of soldiers holding weapons that hummed with restrained annihilation. He didn't introduce himself. He didn't acknowledge us as individuals. He looked at us like a biologist studies bacteria. A translator field activated, his voice echoing inside our minds. Species, human, he said. Classification, pre-interstellar. Militarily irrelevant. Resource inefficient. Fear rippled through our group. He continued, your planet lies within a strategic corridor. You'll be relocated or eliminated. A general stepped forward, voice trembling but defiant. We have culture, history, billions of lives. Surely there's value. The commander cut him off with a single raised claw. They're worthless, take them. At his command, armored soldiers seized 5 of our delegates instantly. No struggle, no mercy. They were dragged screaming toward a side corridor that sealed shut behind them. We never saw them again. The rest of us stood frozen. The commander turned his gaze back to us. The remainder will serve a purpose. That's when everything changed. Middle, the choice no one expected. We were separated and interrogated, not brutally, but clinically. Memories extracted, emotions analyzed. Our entire species dissected in data. Hours or days passed. Time meant nothing aboard the flagship. Eventually, I was summoned alone. The commander stood waiting, dismissing his guards. For the first time, it was just me and him. "You," he said, "you are anomalous." "I'm not special," I replied, voice barely steady. "Incorrect." Images flooded my mind. Human disasters, earthquakes, wars, refugee camps, starving cities, and me, moving through them, organizing, helping, failing, trying again. "Your species destroys itself," he said, "yet you rebuild." I swallowed. "We don't always succeed. Neither do we." That startled me. The commander gestured, and the chamber shifted, revealing a massive holographic projection of the galaxy. Countless worlds flickered, some glowing, some dark. "The Virex Dominion has conquered over 7,000 species," he explained. "Most were erased. Some were enslaved. A few were integrated. And humans?" I asked. His eyes narrowed. "Humans were assessed as worthless." Anger flared in my chest. "You're wrong." He studied me. "Prove it." The projection zoomed in on Earth. Cities, farms, slums, hospitals, battlefields. "Your species is violent," he said. "Divided, emotionally unstable." "Yes," I said quietly, "and we still choose each other." He tilted his head. "Explain." "We help strangers. We mourn people we've never met. We sacrifice for ideals that don't benefit us personally. We fight, but we also forgive." Silence stretched. Then he did something unexpected. He offered me a choice. "We will take your planet," he said, "but we will spare your species if you choose." My heart pounded. "Choose what?" He gestured again, and two paths appeared in the chamber. Option 1, you submit. Humanity becomes a labor caste. Survival without freedom. And Option 2? His voice hardened. You select 1 billion humans to be eradicated immediately. The rest will be spared and observed. I staggered back. 1 billion. I whispered. "A calculated loss," he replied. "Your species exceeds sustainability metrics." Every moral fiber in me screamed. I thought of families, children, elderly, people who would never know why they were chosen to die. "I can't," I said. "Then your species will be eliminated entirely." The weight of extinction pressed down on me like gravity. The commander leaned closer. "They're worthless," he repeated. "Take them or lose them all." Something inside me snapped, not in fear, but in clarity. "No," I said. The word echoed. "No," he repeated. "I won't choose who dies," I said. "And I won't condemn the rest to slavery. If humanity is worthless to you, then take me instead." The chamber went silent. I stepped forward, heart racing. "Use me. Study me. Execute me if you want. But you don't get to turn me into the executioner of my own species." The commander stared at me for a long time. Then, astonishingly, he laughed. A deep, resonant sound, filled with something dangerously close to admiration. "You would trade your existence for billions?" "Yes." "Without guarantee?" "Yes." He straightened. "That," he said slowly, "is not worthless. Ending. The ripple that changed the galaxy. My execution was scheduled immediately. At least, that's what they told me. I was placed in a containment chamber overlooking Earth, the planet hanging blue and fragile in the void. I thought of everyone I loved, everyone I'd never meet. I was at peace. Then the commander returned. The Dominion's doctrine states that a species incapable of collective sacrifice is unworthy of survival, he said. But an individual willing to sacrifice everything for others. He paused. That is rare. He deactivated the containment field. I don't understand, I said. Nor did we, he replied. Until now. He explained that across the Dominion's history, no species had ever refused a choice. They always selected who would die. Survival instinct overrode morality every time. Humans were the first exception. Your choice disrupted predictive models, he said. It created uncertainty. And uncertainty scares empires, I said. A faint smile crossed his alien features. Yes, Earth was spared, not conquered, not enslaved, declared protected. The Dominion withdrew its fleet and issued a galaxy-wide proclamation. Humanity is under observation. Any aggression toward Earth will be met with total retaliation. Overnight, we went from insignificant to untouchable. I was returned home quietly. No medals, no parades. The world never learned the full truth, only that humanity had survived. But the commander's final words stayed with me. Worth is not measured by power, he said, but by the price one is willing to pay for others. Years later, as humanity cautiously stepped into the stars, we carried that lesson with us. And somewhere in the vast dark, an alien commander reconsidered everything he thought he knew about what it meant to be worthless. Because one human's refusal to choose death changed the fate of an entire species. And maybe, just maybe, the fate of the galaxy itself.